No, I'm not saying that.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Lucky Duck. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Get your A-frames, get your spinners. Coming.
You know that truck wrecked in Utah with all them King Cobras?
Allegedly.
Well, I heard today that it was fake.
Does that shock you, Jeff?
No, but it made a hell of a story. I'm scared to death of freaking snakes. I'm telling you right now, King Cobras, I'm killing every son of a bitch I see move. I ain't waiting on them to call somebody to come get them.
Right.
So anyways, I saw it's fake. With us today from Arkansas, because by God, we're in all kinds of little towns, and I'm really bad with names, so I'm just not going to fuck that all up. We are with some gentlemen in the solar business, Mr. Cody Allen and Deonta Howard. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
I have got so many questions about solar energy because I know nothing about it at all. My first question is I saw this year a couple of solar farms got wiped out by hailstorms.
We okay, go ahead.
So y'all have dealt with that already. Do you replace the deal? What do you do about fixing all that? How's that work?
Hail damage is mainly just the panels. So we're going to be going in and just replacing panels pretty much, taking them out.
What do you do with
putting new ones in?
You'd be surprised at what it does to them too.
So it does happen quite often then.
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
Okay, you replace a panel. Those panels look pretty big. What are they? 8 foot long and 4 foot wide or something, or 6 foot wide?
They're 6 by 3. They're 5.5 by 3, something like that.
Okay, so they're manageable. They're not just huge. So 6 by 3s. What do you do with the old ones? Because I have read that you cannot recycle those. They're no good for nothing. Is that true?
No, we do have a company. We do have a company that does recycle them. They break down the glass, get the aluminum.
A lot of people say it's more of a hassle to get the aluminum off in the glass because they don't want the glass, just want the aluminum, but it's not worth their time to do it.
Feasible.
But there are some companies that haul off.
Okay, so it's not feasible to recycle it. What is the lifespan of one of these yards? And I know you guys ain't old enough to know this because they haven't been doing them long enough, and nobody else alive is. But aren't they figuring like 20 years is about the lifespan on a solar yard?
25 to 30.
25 to 30. But, so if I had 100 acres and I put it into a solar a program, and they took my 100 acres and they covered it completely with solar panels, 30 years down the road, what's going to happen? Are they going to come remove all that, or am I just shit out of luck and I'm on my own?
It depends on what you want to do. Yeah. Do you want to renew a lease, or do you want to just have it restored back to natural habitat?
Upgrade the field or take it back down to natural habitat.
Is that part of the contracts with y'all? Is y'all will do that?
Yes, sir.
I would think you'd want to keep it.
So the lease is just 25 years. It's not that these things are viable for 25 years. The lease is for 25 years. And then 25-year mark, you got to decide, are we moving forward with more solar, or are we going to turn this back to natural habitat?
Because financially, I don't understand why everybody doesn't want their land in solar, because they're talking. What I saw was you were going to get $1,000 an acre. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's the going rate I heard is $1,000 an acre. So if you have 100 acres,
that's close.
You're getting $100,000 a year. That's better than growing everything but cocaine. I mean, that's good money.
All right.
I mean, you don't have no input cost. You don't have nothing. You're just making $100,000 off the 100 acres. Do you not think that's a good deal, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that was one of my things is, are you selling out your kid's future for that land? But if you're telling me that in 25 years, you'll be able to have an option to renew it, or they'll come in and take everything and put it back natural, I think that's a win-win then.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how long it takes to get things? Because once you take the solar, the panels off, all that, it's pretty well shot. How many years does it take for things to start growing again on that plot of land? Has there been anything that's gone that way?
With the way our fields are designed, I mean, it's all natural habitat underneath it. I don't know. I sent you guys some pictures in Messenger, and I think I had one of them. We have sheep in them. You can kind of see in the background that our vegetation is natural. We do have we have a landscaper that comes in and he plants all natural vegetation. So stuff that's native to Kansas, native to Oklahoma, wherever your location is, they go back and plant it in. So mainly what you would be doing is coming back in, tearing down the panels, taking down your switch gear, your fence. And then once you got to taking, I mean, you can recycle every bit of that. So the hardest thing to recycle is going to be your panels. And like I said, we have companies now, and like we were talking about, there's not a lot of people that do that. So the ones that are doing it right now, I think it is a pretty lucrative business.
Right. Yeah. It's an interesting thing that we're seeing now. Because I mean, I am of the mindset that we need to do everything. You know what I mean? We don't need to be.
Right.
We don't need to be cornered into fossil fuel. We don't need the green energy people saying that that's the way. Like, we need a healthy balance of everything. I want whatever's fucking cheapest at the moment.
Same here.
So as a landowner, Andy, you would be open to solar farms on your land?
I'm not a landowner.
I'm asking you, would you? You may be. Let's say you inherit some land from your grandparents. Let's say you get some land. Would you be open to put that in a solar farm?
I don't know. It depends on what I could do with geese.
Well, that's true too. I'm at the mindset, I think that's a good deal. That's a lot better deal than the windmill is. The windmill's not such a good thing, I don't think. Now, the windmill, you can still farm your land around them, but there's not as much money in the windmills. You're talking about if you have 80 acres, I think you can get 2 windmills on there, and you're going to make about $30,000 a year off those 2 windmills. Well, 80 acres at $80,000 a year on solar, if you're looking at it from a financial standpoint. What scares me is I had a guy call me last year that's a guide in Kansas, and he's like, "Are y'all dealing with all these California assholes?" Was his exact words. I go, "What are you talking about?" Because the people from California I hunt are good people. He goes, "Landowners." He said, "A lot of our land out here has been bought up out of groups out of California. They don't want you hunting. They don't want nothing done on it." Well, if they're looking at it from an investment standpoint, I could see a bunch of people buying a bunch of land in certain places and putting solar farms in it, and because they're not ever going to be there, they don't care. It's a pure investment. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, especially on the back end.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're buying land for, let's say you can buy good farmland in Kansas, or not farmland, just scrub land in Kansas for $3,000 an acre, and I have no idea what it is. At $3,000 an acre, it only takes you 3 years to pay off that property.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a pretty good, that's a good chunk if you're doing it, if you're looking at it from an investment point. What scares me is a gentleman in Arkansas that I'm friends with told me that there's a place somewhere north of Stuttgart up there where they're going to put in 3,000 or 4,000 acres of solar farms. And he goes, it's
massive. It's massive. It's huge. We've seen it.
Passed that site,
and that's
going to one of our sites, and it's miles long.
That's big duck hunting areas that they've taken out of. So that's going to,
and goose,
yes.
A lot of goose hunting.
Yeah, that's going to play a big role in it going forward. But as a landowner, I understand why they're doing it. From an environmental impact, it's not nothing great for us. Have you went through? So you've been doing this for a couple of years, right?
This will be it'll be 6 years in January.
2 years for me.
I'm a storm chaser. These solar farms create heat. Heat is really good for thunderstorms. It's going to make us have more intense thunderstorms. Have they done I know they've done a study. I just have no idea. And I looked and I couldn't find it. I would like to know what the temperature is in wintertime around these solar farms above it compared to around the other areas where there's not farms. How much it actually causes a temperature spike. Have you noticed that it's warmer?
We have.
You can't, I mean, not physically feel it. No, I would, if you go in with I would definitely think it's warmer above them. I mean, just working around them, you can feel the heat off of them.
That's what I was wanting to know. So something miles long like that is going to have a direct impact on thunderstorms. Anytime you have thunderstorms, they hit a mass of hot air, they intensify. And so I think where everybody bitched that the wind farms were killing the thunderstorms, and I don't think that they do. Thunderstorms are way too big for that. But the heating, if it's 5-10 degrees hotter, it's going to definitely impact and make the storms grow. And I would think that there would be a huge temperature, especially if it's a mile long. I would love to know the air temperature 500 feet above that compared to if you go over where there's no air farm, what the temperature would be 500 feet above.
Right. I would, especially on one that's a 50 or 100 megawatt field that's taking up 2,000 acres worth of land. So like what we install 1 megawatt sites that are right next to substations that just they help the rural community. So we're not actually, we don't install large scale. I think the biggest one we have in our near future is 5 megawatts.
What is that like? How big is that compared to what the mile long one is that we're seeing?
So just for instance, we predominantly install 1 megawatts. 1 megawatts covers 10 acres.
Okay.
So
50
I mean,
acres?
you can see, yeah.
So how
The biggest one we would have installed is 50.
So a 50-acre plot of land, how much will that do an entire town or what?
What I know of is 1 megawatt will power anywhere from 400 to 700 houses a megawatt hour during peak. So, I mean, we're in a rural community, like I said, and I mean, that's where we install it. Even in Kansas, Nebraska, we don't install it, not around major cities. So
we do have some in Fayetteville.
Yeah, Fayetteville. We have some large ones
and stuff like that for snowstorms and peak hours.
We're just to help the grid.
I don't understand how we run out of power and have to do these rolling blackouts with the more and more. They just keep adding more and more things to the grid. I guess because we took coal off of the grid, and that's very stupid on my part. We don't have nuclear.
Very stupid. I agree. We're not here to take over by any means.
Right.
We're here to assist with the power.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny.
Not on a professional opinion, but a personal opinion, I wouldn't think it would.
We're seeing more and more houses in our town pop up with solar on their roofs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, maybe give the house a paint job before you put fucking solar panels on your roof.
Right.
Maybe put new windows or something in before, let's make this house a little bit more curb friendly before we put solar panels on there.
Your friend,
and we offer a program like that too.
To put them on houses?
To come in and do like a home.
No, it's a program that they'll come
energy audit your house pretty much.
Make sure that your windows are
Yeah.
what you need and not getting a draft or whatever in.
Before you do solar.
Before you even sign any kind of contract.
Oh no, I just mean these houses are fucking dumps and they're putting solar panels on. It's like they're putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, for sure.
You've got a good friend of yours you go to church with, and they've got solar panels, and they have a nice house. They don't need to do anything. They're a beautiful home.
Uh-huh.
Have they ever said to you, is that feasible? What kind of money they're making back?
I've never talked to
I would be curious to know, because I noticed, like, if you go by any military bases now, all the government housing on there where their soldiers and stuff live, they all have solar panels, which tells me some politician's brother-in-law is probably in the solar business and got a big kickback. But I would like to know someone that's got a house with solar panels, if they save, what the kind of savings they get per month. Because I called them to come look at mine, and I was thinking, like everyone else did, I thought, what's going to happen is we're going to get in a situation where they're going to screw things up and cut the grid off. So if I have solar panels, at least I can run my house during the day. Oh, you can't do that, sir.
Just during the day.
Unless you have batteries to do it. And then the batteries was $25,000. Well, I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
A generator's a whole lot cheaper.
It's real expensive.
Yes, sir. It's just not feasible yet. The batteries aren't cheap enough not to be able to store power at your house.
Right.
Well, now
not on a regular man's income.
Now they found out that they can get lithium extracted from when they do fracking. So the liberals are kind of in a tough situation. Are they going to want to do fracking so they can get this lithium, or do we still want to have slave labor over in China get it from 6-year-old kids? So they got to figure out what they're going to do with lithium. But that is a side deal of fracking now.
Lithium is?
Lithium.
Aren't they getting that? They're getting it from the brine, aren't they? The brine waters, or something like that. Isn't that how they
It's kind of like making crack, I think. They can take the brine off of that, like crack, and cook it down and scrape it off, and they get lithium.
I don't know if you can tell, Jeff, but I ain't never cooked.
No, I'm the same boat, boy. When I go somewhere, I did that the other day. I'm a profiler. I saw a big fat guy when we were in St. Louis. I asked him where to go eat at, because a fat person enjoys food.
That's exactly right.
I'm
gonna tell you where to eat.
If I want to buy some Marlboros and crack, I'm gonna find some little skinny little bastard over in the corner that's tweaking. And I'm gonna say, well, hey, where do I get this at? But they can hook me up with some Sudafed and some alkaline batteries. But if I want food, I'm gonna go find a fat guy.
Yes, sir.
But whoever come up with this lithium out of this way they extract it, That's an amazing discovery if it's true. It's just so damn hard to believe anything you hear.
Yeah, like your fucking Cobra story.
I saw the same thing you did. A truck wrecked.
No, you saw the same thing I did, but you believed it.
Yeah, Facebook. One of the.
It was a news article. It was from a news deal.
It wasn't a fucking news article.
It wasn't.
Was it on Facebook?
Yes, it was on Facebook.
It was on
100%
Facebook.
it was on
And
Facebook.
I saw an article about this truck wrecked and these Cobras, and they were trying to get them. They got people with these. It don't matter. I was like, well, that's screwed up. I even
You might have like that town on fire.
I just can't. I can't believe that you fell for it.
Michelle was watering her pumpkins the other day, and she's outside watering the yard the other evening. I went out and told her about it. I said, because she's scared to death of snakes and frogs and shit. And I was like, listen, at least we're not in Utah. They had a truck wreck, and they had 46 king cobras got out. She goes, who would have 46 king cobras in a truck? I said, I have no idea. And I said, it was a big-ass 18-wheeler. I didn't think them snakes were that big. I didn't think nothing about it being fake. And then this morning, somebody goes, oh, that was a fake news story. I was like, well, fuck.
I think anybody. Yeah, I worry about you. You're going to be in fucking 20 years. You're going to be in the Target.
It's generational.
It is generational. In 20 years, he's going to be in the Target. He's going to be in the Target line with gift cards to pay off the IRS. I mean, that's where we're headed next.
Well, I sure hope not. But I catch myself.
You just have to go up there and get him, man.
Oh my God.
I think as you get older, you just want to have trust.
Just remember, you don't pay to win the lottery.
Yeah, right.
You just want to have faith in mankind it doesn't. Looking back now, it's pretty damn stupid.
Yeah,
it
I
was.
agree.
But I told Mom about it because we have this new dog, Amos, and Amos is a puppy and he grabs everything. And Michelle hates frogs, and we had a ton of rain, and we've got frogs all over our yard. And Michelle waters 3 times a day. These frogs are everywhere in our yard. Citric acid will get rid of your frogs. We have found that out. If you spray citric acid around, your frogs will leave. But Amos grabbed a frog and had his mouth, and Michelle was running from him, and she thought he wanted to play, and so he was running towards her. And I'd never seen an old woman move and hurtle the way she did to get away from him. So that was my opening to bring up these cobras. So I said, well, at least he ain't got a cobra in his mouth.
That's right.
So you told me you grew up, your parents ran a KOA truck stop or a KOA campgrounds and a Greyhound bus stop
In Abilene,
Yes, sir.
Texas.
There has got to be a ton of educational stories that you have learned. You had to learn a ton of stuff around a Greyhound bus stop.
Well, we moved back when I was probably 8 months.
Oh, you missed all the
Honestly,
fun
The
times.
only thing oh yeah, no, we got to go back. I took my dad down there dove hunting this last year, and the only thing I really got to learn was what campsite I was conceived in. So, I
Damn.
You know,
yeah, I know it was.
I know Greyhound's still in business because you see sometimes. You don't see very many people riding a bus like they used to. But when I was a little kid and in the 50s and 60s, that was a very normal transportation mode for people. I mean, it was. There was a lot of people that were going to go to grandma's and they got on a bus and they rode a bus. Hell, we have a guy in Knox City that moved here from California. His mom went back home on a bus. She loved it. I was like, you're doing what? I go, how much was it? Like $250 to go to LA on a bus. I go, you can probably fly Southwest one way for probably close to that. Oh, I just can't. I'm so excited.
I would think so.
I'm so excited to ride on a bus. I love to meet people and talk to people. I go, how long a ride is it? 38 hours. Like, screw that shit.
No.
Ooh, no, thank you. No.
We rode a mega bus from Little Rock to Dallas, and it was $71 round trip.
Really?
Yeah, that's and it's that.
But this was probably about 18 or 19.
And it
was $71
round trip. Did you stop at every little podunk town on the way?
No, we stopped in Texarkana, and then didn't stop again until we got down there. But I wasn't talking to them people. It was some. We took turns sleeping.
Keep your bag closed.
Start sleeping.
So what I'm thinking in my mind of the bus crowd today is exactly what you were telling me it was like.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what I was figuring. I rode a bus. My grandparents lived in Bella Vista, Arkansas, retired there. And me and Tony stayed like 2 weeks with my grandparents in the summer. We drove up for like 4th of July. Me and Tony stayed 2 weeks. And they put us on a bus to come home. And so we left Tulsa, Oklahoma on a bus to go to Wichita Falls. And I'm guessing I was 10 to 12 years old and Tony was 8 or 10. And it was just me and him on a freaking bus. They put us on a bus. And the one thing I remember is that my parents obviously did not like us
Right.
and wanted us to get taken by someone, or they knew us real well and knew if anybody took us back, they was going to take Tony's ass back home real fast. Me might be a little bit later. But we stopped at every
Bring him right
we stopped
back.
at every freaking town. We didn't drive down the interstate, and you stopped at every town, and every town you'd stop, and there was a bus stop, and people would get on the bus.
Really?
And even back in the day in Benjamin, just not many years back, you could stop and pick a bus up in Benjamin and go anywhere, and that the bus driver would sell you a ticket right there.
Because it's not far from Tulsa to Wichita Falls. It's like 4 hours.
It was about 8 hours on a bus when you stop.
When
at
you
every
fucking
town.
stop everywhere.
Yes, it was.
Jesus. I couldn't imagine putting my kids on a bus.
No,
No, I couldn't either. Not today. I don't. Absolutely not.
no. The world's a different world, though.
Just see y'all when we see you. Here's some money for when you stop and
Yeah, that's
Wherever.
basically it was.
Write us a letter when you get there.
And you,
My grandma used to ride the Amtrak. Used to ride the Amtrak from New York to Memphis when I was younger.
Ooh, wow.
see, I would like that.
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to. I've never been on a train ride other than at an amusement park. I've always wanted to go
Same.
on a train ride, like in Alaska or Canada's got a beautiful one that goes in Banff. I would love to go on. I think it would be awesome. But I can't imagine sticking a kid. So, how do you get into the? So they sold the bus stop, or do you just work for Greyhound?
I think he was supervising. They just moved him from chain to chain. I think he wound up owning one of the chains in Little Rock later on in the 80s, but I think he sold it pretty soon after. It was pretty dangerous. It started becoming a pretty dangerous business in the 90s. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff goes on a bus. I'm sure, a lot of bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when do y'all? So on the solar fields, this is my question on the wind energy. Wind energy, when they come in and do these big wind farms out here, they've done them, and then when the work is done, you don't see nobody no more. They got like 2 employees running all these damn windmills. On the solar farms, once they put the solar farms in, do they have a crew that stays there to maintenance them all the time, or just 1 or 2 guys?
Not that you're looking at 2 of us. You're looking at 2 of the 6. Yeah, there's 6 of us, and we maintain probably 80 properties, 80 different sites.
80 sites. How far away are they from y'all?
First one is 10 hours.
Yeah.
We have one in Hooker.
Yeah, the furthest one's Hooker.
How often do y'all have to go there?
Farther north.
That one not very often. We've actually just it went from an old style solar system, what's called like a 10K. It's got a reflector.
Ground mount system.
Yeah, ground mounts. We're close to the ground. We've been tearing out a lot of those old systems and installing the updated tracker version.
So do y'all? Nobody's there for most of the time. It just sits there. So how often?
No, we monitor
through computers. Everything's monitored. So
Yes, sir.
unless something alarm
Yes, sir.
goes off, you might not even be there for 6 months or 2 years.
possible.
That's always the hope.
See, that's what's happened to our oil field work out here is that we just lost one of our big oil fields out here. One of the big companies, Kinder Morgan, sold to another company. And that's the thing, where it used to be 30 guys that had really good full-time jobs in our community. Now there's going to be 5 or 6. They don't hardly have any benefits like they used to or anything, but they can do most of it off of the internet. And it's mostly monitored that way. And it really hurts. It hurts the community, the rural communities, because you don't get a lot of good workers out of it no more. Like, that's hard to believe. There's 6 of you guys that are taking care of 80 properties.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
We run around with our hair on fire.
Especially during the summer. Summer, when peak sets.
Mm-hmm.
Peak set June through September. So we spend a lot of time on the road then.
It's just harder on the solar fields during those time of year, or what?
Oh yeah, heat's definitely its worst enemy.
So what's the main issue that you'll have to go attend to?
So what we've been dealing with lately is heat that's tripping breakers that feed back onto the grid through an inverter. We've had let's see, we have sometimes level 1 that monitoring wise, we get a notice that it's not producing. We come to the field, we check it out, and then you've got an inverter that's melted to the ground.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Is that a pain in the ass to fix?
We've gotten pretty. we've gotten pretty quick at it. I'd say taking them down as long as the wire, like all the wire feeding it, all the low voltage wire, the communications wires, none of that stuff's burned up. We're usually able just to clean that off, take the inverter down, put a new one up, wire it right back in, and we're in and out of there in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, that's not terrible then.
Okay, so for
No, it's not bad work.
layman's terms, because I don't understand the 10,000 kilowatts and all that other bullshit.
How do you not get it, Jeff?
I don't know any kind of metric math at all, but I know people. So how many 100-acre field? How many families can? Is that talking about 100 families? Is it 1,000 families?
Oh yeah, you're well into the thousands of families at that point. That can
1 acre was 700, wasn't it?
10
10
acres. 1 megawatt is rough. Yes, roughly during peak, one field can produce enough power to supply anywhere from 400 to 700 houses.
That is crazy. So 100, and that's a 100-acre field. You said
10.
That was a 10-acre field.
So two 10-acre fields could supply Knox City with all the power we need.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like right now, our power bills, like my electric bill this month's about $500. Normally that's summertime stuff, but in the off season it's $200.
Right.
But I'm going to spend, let's say, $4,000 a year on power. So if you take, I'm trying to think, a town like Knox City has probably got 300 homes in it. So that's going to be $150,000 a year in electric bills for the town. And so I'm trying to figure out how much that would even pay for that, how long it would take to pay off that field. I'm just doing the math on it. That's
getting the math now.
Yeah.
The math. I don't have my pen and paper.
You're talking to electricians.
But two fields that big, so 20 acres, you'd have $20,000 is what you'd be paying royalties to the landowners for. I don't know how much it costs to build a solar field, but I'm assuming it's like everything else. It's going to take them 10 years to pay for that field, and after that, it's pure profit just about.
Yes,
because
sir.
there's not a lot of upkeep on them, is there?
No, and that's mainly just we like to keep ours. We do keep them mowed. We have a guy or a crew of guys that goes around and mows periodically, so they're not going to be well manicured like your yard. But I mean, grass up to the bottom of a solar panel does not affect a solar panel. You know what I mean?
We have a guy. He plants. He calls it no grow.
Yeah, no grow.
No grow to get up about 3 feet and just go dormant.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Solar to me is better for the environment other than the temperature spikes as opposed to the windmills,
right,
because windmills are full of all kinds of fluid. They act like they're just green energy. Well, shit, it takes thousands of gallons of hydraulic fluid and oil and everything else to keep on them running in a year.
Right.
But the green people don't want to talk about it. The solar farms basically don't, or I think they're pretty green, would say green friendly.
Yeah, I mean your transformers.
That's the only thing that's gonna have.
But those have mineral in them, so I mean.
Minerals?
Yeah, like a mineral.
Oh.
A transformer, like your utility transformer has it's a mineral in it, so it's not actually a pollutant, I guess.
An oil. I'll be damned.
There's so many good ways they could do this too, where it wouldn't even affect the land. You would think that big warehouses, like these big Amazon warehouses, are building. Them things are more than 10 and 20 acres big. Some of them.
Oh, put them on top of that.
Yeah, to cover the.
And put them on top. Exactly.
I saw where a car.
And then you have no footprint.
A car lot somewhere was doing that with their coverings for their hail and stuff. Is they've put solar panels on top of all their whole car lot. Is the whole tops of everything solar.
Made a roof out of it.
Yeah, there's a place in Little Rock like that.
Yeah.
That has the awning that's just solar panels.
Do y'all ever do residentials or just the big fields?
We have a guy that does residential, but we typically just do the utility scale stuff.
And they do, like we said earlier, they do like a house audit. So they actually try to come in and show you ways to improve the energy efficiency on your home before we sell you solar. You know what I mean? We're not just going to jump in and be like, here, you need this payment each month. And you've got an electric bill and a payment on a solar farm, at your house. So We don't want to do that to you. We'd rather show you the ways that you could improve your energy efficiency, and then if we decide that you need solar, then we'll
take
on.
a month, see what changes, and
Right.
then we'll come back out.
Right.
I wonder if we're ever going to see solar panels on cars. Kind of refuel as you go.
I don't think they can create enough energy.
Tesla might have one.
Maybe if the technology gets a little bit better.
I'm telling you, my ass ain't never getting on a fucking airplane that's got solar panels on it.
Hey, I hope I am dead and gone when that shit gets
There is
here.
no fucking way on that shit. Don't.
Not
Hell no. I'm walking.
solely solar, just to kind of help your gas mileage a little bit. Help your gas bill at the end of the month.
I don't.
Get an extra 5 or 10 miles each time.
I'm not an engineer, and
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
I'm not an engineer, and I do not understand how all this stuff works. But it seems to me like you could figure out a way to put a generator on a tire that would to make electricity.
I think Tesla did that already.
I thought they said it's got too much.
I think it was with brakes. Recharge the battery. I think I'll look it up.
There's got to be a way, though. You would think with as much energy as a tire has, that you could build some kind of system that would work. My dad used to always say that the ocean current, they had to figure out a way to make it with the way the current comes in and it goes out to do it. And I always thought, that's kind of stupid. But then as I get older, and as you get older, you believe in cobras and
That's pretty
shit.
smart.
But you start thinking, maybe there is something there. Maybe that would work. But
Tesla utilizes a distinctive method that recovers energy and channels it back into the vehicle's battery during deceleration. This occurs when you ease off the accelerator pad. I don't know how. Regenerative braking and mechanical brake synergy. So,
but as much energy as a tire makes going around, you think they would figure out a way to harness some of that to create electricity, unless it bleeds out more than it makes. I don't know.
this was in 2007. So, the magic of Tesla Roadster regenerative braking, 2007. Anyway, it's a whole big fucking article.
Well,
Single space, so I'm not going to read through that.
so in the wintertime, is it pretty slow in y'all's business? Do y'all have a time of year where it's really slow?
Oh yeah, definitely winter time.
Yeah, it's probably November.
Yeah, November through February is our slowest times.
Perfect if you're a hunter.
Which works out perfect for us. Yeah.
So do y'all get there's just nothing to do, no maintenance, upkeep, hardly anything at all that time of year?
Oh yeah, we do have periodic maintenance, but it's just
It'll be smaller stuff like messing with cameras or
yeah.
low voltage stuff like that. Not really.
Your breakers, they all work pretty good when it's cold. Inverters, all that stuff. Like I said, heat's the enemy out here for us. So anytime it cools off like this stuff works like a charm.
Do y'all have to deal with crackheads stealing all y'all's copper and shit at y'all's sites?
One time since I've been here,
It's been.
they tore a corner of a fence out and tried stealing some solar panels.
Yeah, they had like 7 of them taken off a rack and
It just dropped them.
yeah, dropped them on the side of the
They
highway.
even left them laying there for us. They just took them down, cut the fence open. I don't know if somebody got shocked. I mean,
Somebody had to.
we're hoping they did. They cut
It
the
was
wire.
a mud hole right there
Yeah.
where they were cutting these wires. So
Yeah.
You made one of them little fuckers bouncing around over there, crappie flopping.
Oh, I could only imagine.
I'm telling you, I
Yes.
would be a multimillionaire if I had the drive of a crackhead. You know what? If I just had that get up and go like a crackhead does, like I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I'd be a multimillionaire by now.
Yep.
you see one with a full refrigerator on his shoulder riding a bike. That'll
I'm
Determination.
telling you, man, you just can't
Determination.
deter a crackhead. When they set their mind to it, by God, they're gonna
No.
do it.
It's gonna get
It's
done.
gonna get done. Yeah, I just wish I had the same drive as a crackhead. Maybe one day.
Well, it just amazes me if those people could focus on doing something positive, what they could get done. But
I'm telling you, just like putting a full size refrigerator on your back on a Huffy.
I mean, how much work does it take to take copper tubing out of an apartment complex?
That's got to be fucking strenuous
I'm telling you,
work.
it can't be easy.
It ain't easy
terrible.
labor.
No, you think they find
No. Putting it in's not fun, so I'm sure taking it out's not any better.
They don't mind.
We had a guy hunting with this.
No.
He owned a construction company in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, down there, and he says he's got crackhead guys that'll come up, and he said they'll have $10,000 worth of copper they stole from another job site, come up to sell it to you to put in your job site. And he goes, hell, if you don't watch out, you're buying some copper that you'd put in another job site. And it's just that common. And just, how do you not notice this shit?
We were working, this is when I wasn't doing solar, working for a commercial electric outfit. We were working downtown. We were installing a drug rehabilitation center of all places, downtown Little Rock. And we're outside installing switchgear, and these guys drive by, stopped, rolled down the window, and yelled to us that they were coming back to get our copper that night. But joke was on it. Yeah, we installed it in aluminum, so we got them.
Shit, that's funny. What's the most dangerous part of y'all's job? I mean, is there any aspect where like you're not paying attention, it'll reach out and get you?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's electricity. I mean, anything. The gear so these panels feed back to a set of switch gear that goes back to the grid. Well, I mean, what you've got at that switch gear that we maintain is 600 volts. I mean, it's a phase to phase. You're looking at 590 volts, and then phase to ground, it's about 280, 290.
What how much kills
you get in there?
Like what's the voltage that'll?
Oh man, what do they say? Like a milliamp can stop your heart. So I mean, even like your original stuff, you can stick you stuck your finger in a socket, it can kill you if it got you right. So it's yes, sir.
I didn't know that. What
if it crosses your heart? If you touch the power and ground across your heart, it could kill you.
Maybe I ought to pay a little bit more attention,
even at the house.
Because I'm fucking.
I've been shocked, but it's okay. Yeah. We've all been shocked.
We were redoing our house, and my wife wanted new outlets put in because the old ones were ugly. And I didn't know anything about electricity, but Jeff's dad, my grandfather, we were doing this together. He was kind of my the brains of the operation.
Dad was the brains on electricity.
He was like, as long as you don't touch both wires, you're not gonna get shocked.
Fuck.
He was right. Except for that time, I wasn't paying attention, and my screwdriver I got a little loose with the screwdriver, and sure enough, both of them
pop you across the room.
Oh, and it didn't. No, it wasn't that bad, but I fucking definitely knew that I gotten shocked.
I watched.
But he was like, just don't touch both of them, you'll be fine.
Scared the shit out of it.
I'll tell you how kids in the 70s were. After the tornado, we'd go walking through the woods by our house in Wichita Falls. We had a bad tornado.
That's
and so
right.
he was going through. Tony comes back. Tony was a junk collector. He'd get all kinds of shit he'd find out there off people's house. He found an old hot plate, and he plugs it in the yard, and he fills it up with water to try to get it warm, to make it bubble. And I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He was probably in 3rd or 4th grade, and I was watching him do this shit, and he went over there, and he had a fucking spoon, and he went to stir that water, and he hit that fucking spoon in that water with that electricity was plugged in, and it bounced his ass across the yard. I mean, bam, 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 bam. He bounced 10 yards across there. And he's like, that hurt.
Water and electricity don't mix.
I go, sure. I don't think that's a smart idea.
Holy crap.
It did. It knocked his ass all the way across the fucking yard.
Holy crap.
My dad, you dumb little bastard. You can't do shit like that. What are you thinking? I'm thinking,
water.
You gotta watch him, Grandpa.
Yeah, water and electricity.
But kids are just different back then compared to today.
Yeah,
today's kids are smarter, maybe.
You can't get hurt watching out.
No, that's exactly right.
No, that's right. What's the so here's since I shared my boneheaded shock story. Do y'all have any times where y'all got shocked? You're like, you dumb motherfucker, you knew better than that shit.
Oh yeah, every time I touch it, or every time I accidentally bump something.
And then you do it again to make sure that you were getting shocked. So
right.
Probably, I'd say probably the worst I've ever been hit was on a lighting fixture that had it was 277. But how I grabbed the connector on the light fixture, I got hot and neutral, so it locked my arm in. I was in a man lift up in the air. So all I could do was just make this screaming noise while my apprentices tried to hit the button on the bottom of the lift to let me down, so my body weight would finally let me go of it.
Holy!
That's probably my biggest bonehead mistake.
Well, but
luckily I haven't had anything crazy.
Nothing crazy. Just the typical fuck that got me.
Nothing crazy. Just receptacle.
Yeah.
Receptacle.
Yeah.
I run a pipe one time and I thought I killed
Oh,
myself.
really?
Just hit the ground on the side of the box, and it was my first year. It was my first year in the electrical field. And hit it, and I thought I burnt the building down. My journeyman was like, "No, you're good. You're good." I got to run and stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing.
My first day on the job, my second day on the job, we turned on a bad inverter, and I was probably 20 yards from it. And when we turned it on, it literally, the percussion of the door trying to explode off of it, it just popped it out like an egg. I wish I had pictures I could show you of it, but I don't have any on me at the moment. But it really made me almost reconsider my solar career.
Yeah.
After having that thing explode right beside me.
Yeah, I used to in the summertime I used to work for my grandfather and on the farm, and we would move irrigation line, and it was those old aluminum ones, but he had I was 16, 17 years old and Billy badass and tried, wanting to move them on my own, and one time I got a little bit wonky with it, but they had a hand about 10 years prior to that. He wasn't working for my grandfather. He was working for another farmer. But he was moving those irrigation pipes by himself, those joints, and he tipped it up, and he didn't see that he had a highline wire above him, and that aluminum went onto that, and he ground it out, and right there. Killed him dead right there. So he was like, I'd rather send two of you and handle these things, where you're not having to lift these things up.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't need to. Absolutely. That's terrible.
Yeah. So ever since then, I was always looking above me to make sure I didn't have any highline wires. If I did have to, or I'd just drag the fucking thing.
How does this? It ain't
No,
gonna do it. Yeah, I was trying to show you a picture of some stuff that we have explode every once in a while. I'll send them to you in a different time.
Yeah, that'll work.
Just so you can kind of see what it does when the electricity goes wrong.
Magic smoke.
Yeah, the magic smoke.
Electricity scares me. I'll do plumbing. I'll do anything else, but electricity, I'm calling somebody else unless I'm changing out sockets and I just don't touch both wires.
Man, we do it for a living and it scares us. So,
We're right there with you.
And honest respect is a good thing.
Yeah, 100%.
That's another reason we roll in pairs just in case something like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing the rest of the day? Y'all y'all on a job site right now, or y'all headed to one, or what?
Yeah, we're on one now. We're in between, taking a little lunch break with a few guys. We got one more site to stop at where we change some breakers. Sorry to lose you there. Yeah, we got one more stop.
Now, where do you do most of your waterfowl hunting at?
I hunt one time a year. Well, I shouldn't say one time. We goose hunt one time a year with a fella named Jason Rhodes. He works for Goosebusters Guide Service. I think Travis Snyder's on.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all have had him on a few times.
Great guy.
But we hunt over there. Me and my brother go over and hunt. We go over and hunt with them one time a year. Super great outfit. I mean, just really professional. I mean, you can take your kids with them. Love hunting with them guys. And then the rest of the time, we try to bust wood ducks on the creeks around the house. It's a pretty fun time.
It's right around the corner. When do you go hunting with Goosebusters?
We go like the third weekend of December, so it's usually right before Christmas we go.
Yeah, cool. Travis will be heading to Canada here soon, I'm assuming. About that time of year. Yeah. Everybody starts heading north.
Yeah, I talked to Nickum told me he was leaving like in 2 weeks or something.
Really?
To go up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long ass drive.
Yep.
I used to guide for an outfit back, I think from 2011 to about 14, 15. I guided for a crew out of Stuttgart. That was pretty fun experience. I had a good time.
Stuttgart sure has changed in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Losing their ducks and getting the geese. And
I know that's what it's hard to duck on the good ground. It's pretty well sewed up. And even hunting them WMAs is tough. which I don't know. Y'all familiar with all the regulations they've
No.
implemented on the out-of-staters coming in
we
here?
have heard a little bit about that.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
limiting the days, aren't they? Like 3 days a week or something?
Right. Limit the day. Yes. So many days a week, and then actually so many days for the season.
Yeah. I mean, part of me doesn't blame them. You know, you want your people to have the better opportunity, but
Right.
things.
Right. I know tons of Arkansans that go out of state to get everybody else's animals out. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of tip for tat at that point.
That's true.
I don't blame the state of Arkansas at all. If you have you need to be loyal to your people, and it's state. I mean, we have
Exactly.
federal wildlife refuges, and the feds are trying to get more and more of a print on places, but I'm afraid they're going to take a lot of that away hunting wise. But the state owes it to the people that live there. And if I lived somewhere and I paid taxes year round, and then when I wanted to go use the facilities, I couldn't do it because it was everybody from all over I'd want the same thing. So I don't blame the state of Arkansas. Kansas is going to the same thing on certain dates, and it's public land, and it's owned by the state of Texas, the state of whatever it is. That those people should be the preference there. And
that's exactly
now,
right.
Also, if I lived in Arkansas and I was a mom and pop grocery store or restaurant in one of them little small towns up there, they make a living in November, December, and January. That's where they make most of their money. And they're probably going to lose the conservation snow goose season is probably going to be canceled in the next 5 years. And that's going to be a big blow to a lot of them small towns.
Right. Oh, you're exactly right. I mean, it definitely, it's not going to benefit them in any way.
Not at all.
Not that I can see.
No.
It does benefit the Arkansans, and as in not people coming and, you know, I get it. The boat ramps are full of out-of-state people, and you don't like seeing that, but they pay their money just like we pay our money to go hunt there.
Yeah. So it's a tricky thing that they got to manage for sure. So we'll let those people figure it out. All right, guys, y'all be safe out there. Stay out of the heat.
Appreciate it.
Avoid that electricity.
Yep, we will.
Hey, we appreciate you listening to us. Thanks for educating us on the solar farms. Y'all be safe. God bless you. And hopefully hopefully this cool weather is only about 6 weeks away.
We hope so.
No shit. Crossed. Thank y'all for much. Y'all have a good day.
Bye, boys.
See ya.
You too.
Whole nother aspect of life that knew nothing about at all.
There you go.
And there's just so many more of those. To me, that's so much more lucrative for a landowner than the windmills. But you're giving your stuff away and you can't use it for anything else.
Right.
But that's a lot of money. I would love to know what the temperature difference is, 1,000, 1,500 feet in the air over a big solar field compared to the rest.
I don't know.
And think about it. They need the sun, but then they get too much sun and it fries all their shit.
Got to have sun for solar.
Crazy deal. All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Dove season's right around the corner. Make sure you get you some shells and ammo. September 1st kicks off waterfowl hunting in Canada. A lot of dove hunting in Texas, a lot everywhere. September 1st is a big day of kicking off. I guess South Dakota or North Dakota starts on 15th August.
Do they?
They start shooting the big geese. Yeah, they'll start shooting big geese.
So.
Make sure you call Boss Shot Shells. Get your shells before it's too late. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. Peace. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Hemp Hill Farm. Use our promo code BHP. Check out Pacific Calls. Use our promo code BHP25. We're also brought to you by Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Mallard Bay, Stanfield Outfitters, Mossberg, Double T British Kennels, Mitch Hall Chevrolet, Ducks Unlimited, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, and MOR Graphics.